This house on King Road in Moscow holds dark secrets. When students return to U of I after winter break, it'll be gone. What students are saying about the journey to heal after the Moscow murders.
We've got more low clouds and fog on the way for the weekend, plus an air stagnation advisory in your First Alert forecast.
And a woman beloved in the Minnehaha community is being remembered tonight as the Major Crimes Unit continues to investigate the circumstances surrounding her untimely death. What friends and former coworkers are saying about Carol Street. You're watching 4 News Now at 6. At the end of the month, the house where 4 U of I students were killed will be demolished. Thanks for joining us. I'm Derek Dice. The teardown will happen over winter break when the university says it will be the least disruptive for students. Our Jordan Smith was in Moscow today and spoke with students and community members about this decision.
This decision was well thought out by the university. They believe that the removal of this house is a crucial step in helping the community move forward in the healing process. It was a quiet day in Moscow. The campus fairly empty as students wrapped up the last day of finals before departing home for the holidays. And when those students return a few weeks from now, this house that has become nationally recognizable will no longer be here. I spoke with a few students and a few community members today, all of whom preferred to speak off camera. I asked them all if they felt like this was the best decision moving forward. All of them felt like it was, at least for the most part. One student who lives less than 20 yards from the house says he passes by it 3 times each day going to and from class. It's become a part of his daily scenery. And 1 year later, he almost doesn't notice it. But between the boarded up windows, police tape, and 24/7 security, he says the university's decision to tear down this house is a positive thing. And I spoke with another community member who shared a similar sentiment. He lives right up the hill from this house, and he tells me he sees students doing a pretty good job of carrying on in their day-to-day lives. He still hears partying and seeing students staying active, and he does tell me that this decision by the university is helping everyone take another step forward together. In Moscow, Jordan Smith, 4 News Now.
Well, the man accused of killing a family of 4 in Kellogg is due back in court Monday. Major John Kaler is expected to change his plea at a hearing Monday. He's likely to plead guilty to lesser charges of second-degree murder. This change comes after mediation with an agreement from the state of Idaho, the victims' families, and Kaler's attorney. Kaler is accused of shooting and killing Kenneth and Kenna Gardapi and teenagers Devin and Aiken Smith this past summer. All right, we're going to send things over to Chris Crocker now with that First Alert forecast. And I know you hate to sound like a broken record, but our weather has been very similar for the last several days.
Yes, it is. Dry, above average temperatures. We're going to see a little bit less sunshine tomorrow. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. Our quiet weather pattern persists for now. We have an air stagnation advisory through Monday morning. More clouds than sun this weekend, and then we do have some rain on the way for next week. Rain, not snow. Our air stagnation advisory is for this raised area that you see, western Montana, most of north Idaho and eastern Washington, leaving out the Idaho, Washington Palouse, the LC Valley, and up through the Silver Valley. But you'll still encounter some low clouds and fog there with high pressure in control. We are stuck in a little bit of a weather rut. Here's a look at your Saturday planner. 35 degrees for a high. 33 is our average high. We'll start the day off at 28 degrees. Fairly short thermometer. Air quality has been in the good range today, but may get into that moderate range tomorrow, and could even get worse than that as we get into Sunday and this ridge of high pressure persists. I will be back in just a few minutes to tell you about the wet weather on the way. Derek?
All right, Chris, thank you. Breaking Pac-12 news now. The state Supreme Court has elected not to review a lower court's decision to give Washington State and Oregon State universities control of the Pac-12 Board of Directors. The University of Washington and the other departing conference schools asked the court for a discretionary or direct review of this case, claiming it caused them irreparable harm. But the ruling of the judge in Whitman County stands, and this is a big win for both WSU and OSU. Well, a newly released search warrant reveals detectives are looking for evidence of a homicide and the death of a woman whose body was found in northeast Spokane Wednesday afternoon. That woman was 65-year-old Carol Street. We want to warn you, some of these details may be disturbing to hear, so sensitive viewers should mute the TV or maybe leave the room. The search warrant reveals bloody clothes and what could have been Carol's that were found in another field nearby. her pants were pulled down, and her hand was missing. Marissa Rio spoke to Carol's friends and colleagues today and shares who they say she was.
The field behind me is where Carol's body was found. Her friends want people to know the person she was when she was alive. Carol worked in the behavioral health field as a counselor. She helped people who were fighting addiction. Now, all of the former colleagues of Carol's that I spoke with today had nothing but great things to say about her.
She loved the outdoors, loved animals, loved fishing.
That was Carol's friend who says she spoke with her the morning of the day she died.
I think what I'll miss most about Carol is the gratitude, the kindness, again, her compassion. She never took anything for granted. She bent over backwards to make sure that people felt loved and appreciated.
And that message was echoed by many others who worked with Carol. Before she passed, she was working at Spokane Regional Health District in the Opioid Treatment Services Division. The district released a statement that read, "We are shocked and saddened by the news. Carol was a joy to work with and was loved by her patients. She had a smile and laugh that was infectious. You couldn't help but grin and laugh along. Our hearts go out to her family. As colleagues and friends of Carol, we share in their grief for the loss of such a wonderful person. She will be missed." Another colleague spoke about how Carol was beyond her job.
She's going to be missed for her humor. She was always the one that dressed up at Halloween or was festive at Christmas.
Everyone we spoke with today said Carol was passionate about recovery and went above and beyond for her patients. Carol's friend Tracy told me that when patients would see her outside of work, they would often run up to her and thank her for how much she helped them during the recovery process. That's what her friends want people to know her for. Reporting live in Spokane Valley, Marissa Rio, 4 News Now.
All right, Marissa, thank you. More police activity overnight in the Minnehaha neighborhood, blocks away from where Street's body was found. This was in connection to the Colton Russell and Kiara Morgan Whelan, who were found dead last Friday. The SWAT team and other law enforcement worked through the night to gather evidence. This neighborhood is desperate for answers, though. Peter Choi spoke with people who live in this area. He'll have more on what some are calling a problem house in about a half an hour. Well, we've been bringing you the latest information on these death investigations since they started. You can make sure to get updates like these as soon as they happen by downloading the KXLY Plus app on your connected TV. You can watch live updates, breaking news, and the forecast every 10 minutes. Well, the Philadelphia Eagles fly into Lumen Field in Seattle Monday to take on the Seahawks. It's an important game for Seattle if they want to keep their playoff hopes alive. Monday Night Football starts at 5 o'clock. You can watch it right here on 4 News Now. Well, we're learning more about how actor Matthew Perry suddenly died, why the coroner found ketamine in his system next.
And we're about an hour away from the Elite Eight rematch between number 10 Gonzaga and number 5 UConn. We break down the matchup in a live report in Seattle after the break. Stay with us.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY Plus.
26 years strong.
The all-new Bet Ahead feature is now live at Caesars Sportsbook, located inside Spokane Tribe Casino. Make your picks online from anywhere before you place your cash bets. Only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
4 News Now and BECU are teaming up to welcome in some holiday fun and friendly holiday spirit. Send us a picture of your pet decked out for the holidays and you could win a $200 Amazon gift card courtesy of BECU. For details, go to KXLY.com/holidaypets.
My dry eyes made me a burning, stinging 5 times a day.
Makeup smearing, drops user.
I want another option. That's not another drop.
Tyrvaya. It's not another drop. It's the first and only nasal spray for dry eye. Tyrvaya treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease fast by helping your body produce its own real tears. Common side effects include sneezing, cough, and throat and nose irritation.
Relying only on drops? Not me. My own real tears are my relief.
Ask your eye doctor about Tyrvaya.
$3 pitcher night. A couple cocktails. An edible. And a nature documentary. What do all these people have in common? A friend like you, who offered a ride, or made sure they got in a ride share, or provided a couch to crash on. Thanks for keeping the roads a little safer tonight, Washington. Together, we get
Whatever your plans are this season, do more in a new Chevy. Use your Red Tag bonus cash to get $87.50 total cash allowance on this Silverado. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
A brand new holiday musical with Elvis Presley, Johnny Cash, Carl Perkins, and Jerry Lee Lewis. $1 Million Quartet Christmas the Musical.
December 23rd at First Interstate Center for the Arts. BroadwaySpokane.com.
The all-new Bet Ahead feature is now live at Caesars Sportsbook, located inside Spokane Tribe Casino. Make your picks online from anywhere before you place your cash bets. Only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
Well, it was less than 9 months ago when UConn bounced Gonzaga from the NCAA tournament down in Las Vegas. But tonight, a rematch, only this time it's over in Seattle. And that is where we find our sports director, Julian Minnesone, live inside Climate Pledge Arena. And Julian, last year the Huskies simply used their size to dominate the Bulldogs. How can this year's squad match up and compete with the 5th-ranked team in the nation?
Well, Alex, you said it. You can't teach height. That was the thing that bothered Gonzaga in that game back in March in Las Vegas. The Huskies out-rebounded the Zags in that game, and also it affected the Zags shooting. Remember, Gonzaga shot just 2 for 20 from three-point range in that game. It was their worst all season, and it doesn't help when you have a big, long hand right in your face contesting those jump shots. So tonight, it's going to all be about rebounding, and not just from the big guys in the middle, not just Graham Ike and Braden Huff, but the guards as well. Nolan Hickman and Dusty Stromer, guys like that are expected to team rebound tonight because a defensive stop doesn't end until you get it with a box out. I had a coach once tell me that you need to look at the ball the same way you need to look at oxygen or air. You're going to have to want it as bad as you want to breathe, and that's what Gonzaga is going to need to do tonight against the top 5 team in UConn.
And Julian, I don't want to say this is a must-win game for the Zags. That's simply going too far. But how important is a win tonight when we're talking about their NCAA tournament resume and earning a higher seed come Selection Sunday?
Well, the goal of this Gonzaga team is certainly obviously to make an NCAA tournament and get all the way to a national championship, but you want the easiest road possible, and that's going to go through Spokane. In order to do that, Gonzaga needs a top 4 seed in the NCAA tournament, and right now they do not have a quad 1 win. You lose to Purdue, you lost to the other Huskies of Washington a week ago right here in Seattle, and so a win tonight against UConn would certainly help your resume. It is the big difference between maybe getting a 4 seed as opposed to a 5 seed and having to travel out of Spokane come March. So this would be a huge resume builder for this team, and also kind of a get-me-back game, because the last time they were in Seattle was against the Huskies, as I mentioned, of Washington a week ago. They were flat out embarrassed, and now you have a chance to redeem your.
Well, thank you, Julian. We'll have more on that matchup on night side. We'll include the highlights and post-game reaction. Now, switching gears to college football, we know the destinations for former Washington State receiver Josh Kelly. Earlier this afternoon, he took to social media to announce he'll be playing at Texas Tech next year. If that makes a light go off in your head, that's because the Cougars are going to be taking on the Red Raiders in Pullman on September 7th, so it won't be long for a reunion. This one, in his one season at Wazoo, Kelly brought in 61 catches for 923 yards and 8 touchdowns. And just across the border, Idaho wide receiver Hayden Hatton will not be hitting the transfer portal. Instead, he's going to be declaring for the 2024 NFL Draft, and his stock could not be higher right now. Hayden finished his Idaho career with one of the best receivers in program history, with 244 catches, more than 3,400 yards, and 33 touchdowns, and was twice named an FCS All-American. Now, Hayden's going to look to become the first Idaho player taken in the draft since Caden Ellis was selected in the 7th round back in 2019. Derek, send it back over to you.
Fingers crossed for him. He had a heck of a career. All right, winter weather can have a huge impact on your skin. We have the heat on in the house, at school, and at the office. Plus, humidity levels are down. It can leave your skin pretty parched. The first line of defense, a humidifier.
You want to set it to at least 50% or higher, and that can push some of that moisture back into the skin.
as good as it sounds when it's cold out, don't abuse your skin by taking hot showers. It just adds to the dryness. Pat yourself dry after a lukewarm shower so you don't increase friction. Fragrance-free lotions containing ceramide are great for locking in moisture after a shower. All right, we are now learning Friends actor Matthew Perry died from the toxic effects of ketamine. According to the Los Angeles County coroner, it was likely a combination of things that contributed to Perry's death. They include drowning, coronary artery disease, and acute ketamine effects. He was on ketamine infusion therapy for depression and anxiety prior to his death. The autopsy report says it's likely he fell asleep, slipped under the water, drowning in his hot tub back in October.
Our high temperature today, 40 degrees. 33 is our average high, and we started the day off at 32, also well above average. Sunset now 3:59. That is 1 minute later than our earliest sunset. Our sunrise, however, will continue to get later through winter solstice. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Spokane Wedding Expo is January 6th. For tickets, visit SpokaneWeddingExpo.com.
Arby's, 2 for $7 every day. The big beefy boy that started it all. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
At Coeur d'Alene Honda, the waiting is over.
We have new Hondas in stock and ready for delivery. Plus, they all come with a lifetime warranty.
Come check out the all-new Honda CR-V and Accord hybrids.
Or maybe you're wanting the new Honda Ridgeline or newly designed Honda Pilot.
Whether you want a new car, van, or SUV, we have them in stock.
Family owned and operated in beautiful Coeur d'Alene, Idaho for over 55 years.
And don't forget about our lifetime warranty.
Visit us at our website, cdahonda.com.
Frozen is Disney's latest hit Broadway musical. From the producer of The Lion King comes the show audiences and critics are melting for.
Coming to First Interstate Center for the Arts, July 24th to August 4th. Get tickets at BroadwaySpokane.com.
$7 every day. A classic, a favorite, an Arby's legend. 2 of those things for just $7. Arby's, we have the meat.
Next ET, we're in London with Jason Momoa talking Aquaman's return and possible end.
It's not looking too good.
Plus, only ETs with Dick Van Dyke at his star-studded tribute.
I'll never forget it.
Next ET.
GMA 7A next week. We're counting down to Christmas with Patrick Dempsey, Emma Stone, Hannah Waddingham, Brandy, and the Trans-Siberian Orchestra, all live. Plus, here come our ugly sweaters on
Good Morning, America.
Live look right now of the Spokane Veterans Memorial Arena, where Chiefs fans are arriving in mass, and a good reminder of the upside to this not very Christmassy weather is it is a breeze getting around town to the things that you need to do. Your holiday parties this weekend, you will not have to worry about snow and icy roads. You may run into a couple of freezing fog spots, but other than that, it is going to be easy to drive around and take care of your holiday errands this weekend. Patchy freezing fog tonight, 28 degrees for an overnight low. Low clouds and areas of fog tomorrow with a high temperature of 35 degrees. We're going to shake things up starting Monday night. We have a 20% chance of precipitation late Monday. The best chance of wet weather is on Tuesday with some lingering precipitation on Wednesday. We're talking some fairly high mountain snow. High pressure in control over the weekend. It's a fairly flat ridge of high pressure, so it's going to let the low clouds the high clouds drift through, and anytime there's a little bit of clearing, low clouds and fog will develop. Here's Sunday at 8 o'clock. We've been watching this moisture stream up along the coast without making its way inland until we get into Monday. Then that's going to start making its way to the east. Late Monday into Tuesday morning, we'll start to see some light rain around the inland northwest with fairly high mountain snow. Take a look at our temperature trend over the next 7 days. This black line down here is average. Our average high is at 33 now and stays at 33 through the end of December and right on into early January. We're going to be a little above average through the weekend and then up close to 40 degrees through the beginning of next week and into the middle of next week as well. And that's going to take our snow level well above the Spokane area. It's going to be above the Spokane area through the weekend, but then we're up around 5,000 feet on Monday, 6,100 on Tuesday. And all of this means that we are going to be seeing rain around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene and other valley locations. Only really high mountain snow on Tuesday. Shouldn't have any problems on the passes as well. I know a lot of kids are already out of school, so if your holiday travel plans are kicking off this weekend, there will be no problems. And really through next week, you may run into some wet weather, but likely not white weather unless you're up on the ski hills. May get some snow there. Welcome. Thursday, winter officially starts. Thursday night, our winter solstice, 38 on Friday. No sign of Christmas snow, but I'm going to take a hard look at your forecast heading out into Christmas in the next half hour, Derek.
All right, looking forward to it, Chris. Thank you. Former New York City mayor and Donald Trump lawyer Rudy Giuliani is now being ordered to pay nearly $150 million for falsely accusing 2 Georgia election workers of fraud. Even after this massive verdict, he's still not backing down on false election claims. Jessica Schneider reports.
The absurdity of the number merely underscores the absurdity of the entire proceeding.
Rudy Giuliani defiant after his trial to determine defamation damages. Tonight, the 8-member jury awarding the 2 Georgia election workers Giuliani slandered a staggering sum, nearly $150 million, between compensatory damages for both defamation and for emotional distress and punitive damages. The verdict is meant to compensate Ruby Freeman and her daughter Shaye Moss for the years of threats, harassment, and fallout from Rudy Giuliani's words after the 2020 election to a Georgia State Senate committee investigating the unfounded fraud.
It's a tape earlier in the day of Ruby Freeman and Shaye Freeman Moss and one other gentleman. I mean, it's obvious to anyone who's a criminal investigator or prosecutor, they are engaged in surreptitious illegal activity again that day.
Both women detailed in hours of emotional testimony on the stand how these false allegations upended their lives. They received death threats.
He shouldn't die, you fucking racist. You and your fat fucking doing this.
Giuliani saying tonight he was not to blame for those.
The comments they received I had nothing to do with. Those comments are abominable, they're deplorable. My comments had no connection at all to those. There were thousands of things in the press about this, of which mine were a small amount.
The plaintiffs also said they were forced into hiding and have been turned down for jobs.
The past few years has been devastating. The flame that Giuliani lit with those lies and passed to so many others to keep that flame blazing changed every aspect of our lives. Our homes, our family, our work, our sense of safety, our mental health, and we're still working to rebuild.
I can never move back into the house that I called home. I will always have to be careful about where I go and who I choose to share my name with.
The judge had already ruled that Giuliani is liable. Their lawyers pointed to these comments from Giuliani outside court this week to prove that Giuliani still is not remorseful.
They were engaged in changing votes.
There's no proof of that.
Oh, you're damn right there is. Stay tuned.
His comments years after his rampage that the 2020 election was rigged.
It's enough to overturn any election. It's disgraceful what happened.
And Giuliani refusing to back down from the lies even now.
I have no doubt that my comments were made and they were supportable and are supportable today.
All right, still to come here, people living on one street in the Minnehaha neighborhood are hoping things will get back to normal after a problem house on the block was raided overnight. We'll explain what kind of evidence police were looking for and the problems neighbors are seeing on one property in particular. And if you're traveling cross country for the holidays soon, you might run into disruptions. We're tracking a winter storm that's expected to slam the East Coast this weekend.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
The Tire Store for winter tires with no credit hassles. At the Tire Store, they'll let you split up your repair bill over a couple months. Get your car fixed today. ASC certified, start an account with no credit check. Tire Store.
This is important information from AARP and BECU. Caring for a parent, spouse, or loved one comes with a lot of responsibility, including financially. Research shows the family caregivers spend an average of $7,200 of their own money every year. There's often a struggle for caregivers to take care of their own financial needs as well as the needs of their loved ones. AARP and BECU are here to help by offering advice, tips, and tools with a video podcast series, Caring for Caregivers. For more information, visit this website.
Ho, ho, ho. Ring in the season with some holly jolly jackpots at the Kootenai Casino in Bonners Ferry. Santa's got you on his list for winter wonder spins and a New Year's Eve countdown to cash. Cozy up in a Kootenai Falls lodge room starting at just $79 midweek or upgrade to a Riverview room for $99. Come celebrate all December at the Kootenai Casino. Call 888-YOU-ARE-LUCKY or visit KootenaiRiverInn.com.
You're feeding it.
I will, I promise. Thanks to our Premier Rewards Visa credit card from ICCU, we earned enough cash back to stock up on puppy supplies.
But we don't have a puppy.
They're very convincing children.
$3 pitcher night. A couple cocktails, an edible, and a nature documentary. What do all these people have in common? A friend like you who offered a ride or made sure they got in a ride share or provided a couch to crash on. Thanks for keeping the roads a little safer tonight, Washington. Together, we get there.
The Tire Store for winter tires with no credit hassles. At the Tire Store, they'll let you split up your repair bill over a couple months. Get your car fixed today. ASC certified, start an account with no credit check. Tire Store.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
Welcome back. Former President Donald Trump makes a big advertising buy in Iowa that highlights a Republican leader who is not endorsing him. Julia Benbrook explores the new ads from Trump and other presidential candidates and the strategies behind them.
The race for the White House continues, and Republican presidential hopefuls are focusing in right now on Iowa and New Hampshire. While the competition on the campaign trail is heating up, so are the ad wars.
New campaign ads are hitting the airwaves in early voting states. Frontrunner Donald Trump is using old clips of Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds that show her praising the former president's work.
Our farmers, thank you. Iowans, thank you. And we are grateful.
But a lot has changed since then. The Iowa governor announced last month that she's backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis in the primary.
He is one of the most relevant candidates that we've had in a long time.
DeSantis isn't the only candidate touting a big endorsement on the trail.
We are all in on Nikki Haley, undoubtedly.
Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley now has the support of New Hampshire's Governor Chris Sununu.
Are we a country that goes backwards? Is the next opportunity for America's leadership of tomorrow yesterday? No.
Former New Jersey Governor Chris Christie, who is relying on a good showing in New Hampshire, downplayed the impact of Sununu's endorsement on the trail.
In the end, these voters are not going to be told by anybody who to vote for. You got to go out and earn their vote, and that's exactly what I'm going to do.
In his latest ad, now airing in the Granite State, Christie called out both DeSantis and Haley, saying all of the candidates need to take on Trump more directly.
I'm in this race because the truth needs to be spoken. He is unfit.
There's only one candidate trying to stop Trump.
Even with those key endorsements from popular governors going to candidates not named Trump, polls show that the former president still holds a commanding lead, with DeSantis trailing in a distant second in Iowa and Haley facing a similar situation in New Hampshire. Reporting at the White House, I'm Julia Benbrook.
Well, the biggest solar flare in years temporarily knocked out radio communication here on Earth. NASA recorded this flare. You can see the bright flash in the upper right. This resulted in radio interference in about 2 hours, for about 2 hours in parts of the U.S. Several pilots reported having communication trouble today. It's the biggest recorded flare since 2017. Well, a big storm is moving across the nation ahead of the holidays. As the system heads east, it's expected to create dangerous conditions from Florida to New England this weekend. ABC's Rena Roy is tracking it tonight.
A massive storm system is sweeping east after wreaking havoc on western states. The severe weather coming just ahead of the holiday travel rush.
If East Coast area airports are impacted, it can slow down the planes getting to other locations. So this could slow down travel all over the country.
The same system dropping a foot of snow in northern New Mexico and causing treacherous driving conditions in Colorado. Parts of Florida already prepping.
Let's rock and roll, bro. I'm ready.
Fort Lauderdale issuing flood watches and wind advisories ahead of the storm. Officials saying tornadoes and wind gusts of up to 45 miles per hour are possible, along with up to 8 inches of rain. Crews installing these flood barriers along the beach wall openings to protect nearby buildings from storm surge and sand.
We saw them putting the barricades up yesterday, and we knew it was going to be not beach weather.
In Texas, officials say they're prepared, reassuring residents that a repeat of 2021's power outage crisis will not happen this winter season.
Power grid is as ready and reliable as it has ever been for the winter season. We have more generating and dispatchable resources available to the grid than we have had in any prior winter in history. So we are ready for that.
On Sunday, the storm is set to start making its way up the Atlantic coast, dropping several inches of rain in Georgia all the way up through Maine. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Well, coming up here on 4 News Now at 6:30, some toys shouldn't make the Christmas list cut this year. We'll explain what parents should check for.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Cash in this holiday season at Spokane Tribe Casino in the Winter Wonderland cash drawings. Win your share of more than $57,000 in cash every Saturday in December. Only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
It's the only time of year the reindeer fly. You can't see them on their sleigh ride across the sky. Gather all your friends around or go out and paint the town. It's the only time of year the whole wide world turns upside down.
Tony, your parents know you're over here again, right?
Yep.
Great.
Tony lives next door. See, his parents decided to just use their phone for home internet. So when everyone is on, Tony's over here streaming and drinking all my soda.
My dog.
Get internet on the Xfinity 10G network for $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract.
We're going to bed, Tony.
Good night. I'll lock up if I leave.
Get real home internet on the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity.
This holiday season, even Santa needs to stock up on the freshest ingredients for a magical feast. From green beans, Brussels sprouts, and prime rib to our signature cookies and Cyrus O'Leary apple pies, we've got it all for your holiday gatherings. And just when Santa thought his list was complete,
Santa, don't forget to pick up something special for dinner, dear.
make your holidays magical with My Fresh Basket, where even Santa shops for the finest ingredients. Happy holidays from My Fresh Basket.
One of my favorite programs is the People Helping People program.
Any BECU member can nominate a nonprofit that they care about.
We are so appreciative of BECU and their support for our program. One of our parents, who also happens to work here, was able to nominate us. Our service of the community really aligns well with BECU.
Last year, we gave away 3 grants in Spokane. This year, we're slated to give away $525,000.
Thanks to BECU, we are able to meet the needs of more families.
Cash in this holiday season at Spokane Tribe Casino in the Winter Wonderland Cash Drawings. Win your share of more than $57,000 in cash every Saturday in December, only at Spokane Tribe Casino. You just win here.
Live from downtown Spokane, this is 4 News Now at 6:30.
Several people were detained in the Minnehaha neighborhood last night in connection to the deaths of Kiara Morgan Whelan and Colton Russell last Friday. Neighbors say the house the SWAT team surrounded has been a major headache.
The neighborhood was really proactive about that. Everyone communicated on that and was really watching the house closely.
Our Peter Choi explains why police zoned in on this specific house overnight. Peter?
Yes, Derek, at Spokane, police tell me officers were searching for evidence at this house right there, and they said the incident was connected to the investigation into 2 bodies that were found a week ago. Tonight, neighbors tell me they were not surprised to find out this house may be connected to the deaths.
It has been a problem in this neighborhood.
A problem that longtime neighbor April Bisley has not dealt with in the past.
It is a very quiet neighborhood. We've lived here a long time.
Neighbors say a lot of foot traffic passes through the house every day.
At first, they would walk by and go directly to the house, and they continued doing that, but the cars stopped parking in front of their house.
People camping out in the front of the house in the cars, camping out in the alleyway in their cars. Seeing the drug deals going on.
On Thursday, police say officers got a search warrant to the house for multiple crimes, including the investigation into 2 deaths over the weekend.
SWAT came out, had the spotlights in the front of the house. They were asking them to come out.
Police detained more than 5 people. The officers were inside the house all night searching for evidence. Neighbors say they are frustrated.
Something that's just been kind of upsetting us in the neighborhood about what's going on, and we're just kind of tired of seeing one house ruin the entire neighborhood.
I was really upset, like the other neighbors, that one house, one bad rental house, one absentee rental owner could allow a neighborhood to have, go through all this.
Now, Spokane police and the medical examiner remain tight-lipped about how Morgan Whelan and Russell died. The Major Crimes Unit continues to investigate this incident. In studio tonight, Peter Choi, 4 News Now.
Well, you might be in a rush to get your gift shipped, but don't skimp on safety when it comes to picking out safe toys for kids. Children, especially younger ones, are naturally curious. That leads to them putting things in their mouth, which can lead to choking and other life-threatening conditions. So be sure to check labels. Also, some online resellers might not be selling you the real deal.
You're going to want to make sure that you shop with a retailer you know and trust. You're going to want to do some research on the product. Read the listing carefully. Are there typos or inconsistencies in the description or the photos?
When it comes to tech gifts, be sure to talk to kids about the dangers of the internet. Teach them about not sharing their information and photos online and about having passwords they change frequently. Well, we are in the full swing of the holiday season, and with just 2 weeks left until Christmas, you may be doing some last-minute gift shopping. With so many people shopping online, the Spokane Police Department says it's cracking down on package thieves. Bronte Sorotsky joins us in studio now with how they're protecting your belongings.
Well, Derek, unfortunately, package thieves are a year-round issue, but these kinds of thefts do ramp up this time of year, and that's why the Spokane Police Department's Stolen Property and Recovery Unit, or SPEAR, is ramping up its emphasis on these thefts. SPD says that you should always report these incidents as soon as they happen. They also encourage posting any footage onto the Nextdoor app or any other social media. They've even started using bait packages, which are empty, to try and deter any more thefts.
I think the biggest thing that will be helpful is just having people know that they're out there, having the criminals know that they're out there, and maybe they'll be a little less inclined to go steal packages. But rest assured, we're putting them in good locations and monitoring them so that when they do get stolen, we'll be there.
Sergeant Eckersley also wants to remind thieves that they could get anything from a misdemeanor to a felony for stealing, depending on the value of the item stolen. Stealing a package, not knowing what's inside, is a gamble. The Spokane Police Department has a section of its Facebook page dedicated to posting footage of these thefts. If you recognize anyone, report it to Crime Check or send an email to SPD's theft tip email. That will be up on our website, KXLY.com. Live in studio, Bronte Sorotsky, 4 News Now.
Let's take a look at a dark Spokane, one Spokane Stadium. They have some Christmas lights going though, red and green. A lot going on across the street at the arena tonight. The Chiefs are playing. Here's a look at your weekend forecast. Foggy, low clouds, might see some filtered sunshine, but that is a long shot. Temperatures in the mid-30s Saturday and Sunday, with temperatures down below freezing. Will be down in the 20s. There is an air stagnation advisory through Monday morning for the raised area on your screen there. Does not include the Silver Valley, Moscow, Pullman, the LC Valley. That's where you have the best chance to see some sunshine over the weekend. Elsewhere, though, it is going to be a fairly gray weekend. If the low clouds and fog don't get you, then there'll be some high clouds moving over our ridge of high pressure. Here are 4 things to know about your weather. A quiet weather pattern this weekend with that air stagnation advisory in effect. More clouds than sun. We have some rain on the way next week. I'll be back with your 7-day forecast. Plus, I'm looking all the way ahead to Christmas Day. I'll let you know what I'm seeing. It's early, but I'll let you know coming up in just a few minutes, Derek.
All right, Chris, thank you. European officials now say they may have stopped a terrifying new terror plot. As ABC's Liz Landers reports, several people, including suspected members of Hamas, were arrested on suspicion of planning attacks against Jews across Europe.
A roundup of terror suspects in Europe who were allegedly planning attacks on Jews and Jewish institutions, and several may have ties to Hamas. 11 suspects were arrested, 7 in Denmark, where the Danish prime minister says the arrests are indicative of a, quote, extremely serious situation, and that it was completely unacceptable for someone to bring the conflict in Israel to Denmark. 3 more were arrested in Berlin and 1 additional person in the Netherlands as Europe and the United States remain on high alert for threats stemming from the conflict between Israel and Hamas in the Middle East. U.S. officials have been warning of threats.
We're working around the clock to identify and disrupt potential attacks by those inspired by Hamas's horrific terrorist attacks in Israel.
As Israel continues its offensive against Hamas in Gaza, and the U.S. Defense Secretary and another top White House official traveled to the region to meet with leaders.
Thank you for your support.
Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu thanking National Security Advisor Jake Sullivan, who met with him Thursday. The White House says that Sullivan is urging Israel to scale back its intense fighting and instead pursue what it calls a lower intensity operation. More than 18,700 people have been killed in Gaza, according to the Hamas-run Gaza Health Ministry. President Biden making it clear he wants to see Israel stop what he calls indiscriminate bombing.
I want them to be focused on how to save civilian lives, not stop going after Hamas, but be more careful.
Meantime, Jake Sullivan met with Palestinian President Mahmoud Abbas in the West Bank. He also spent time in Tel Aviv. In Washington, Liz Landers, ABC News.
Well, one family gets more than they bargained for when they brought home their Christmas tree this year. That's not a pet owl you're looking at. We'll tell you how they found the bird long after they decorated the tree.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
My darling granddaughter, when I was your age, I was given this camera. May it capture your big, beautiful life the way it did mine. Love, Grandma.
Adventure awaits at Silver Mountain Resort this winter. Enjoy some of the best terrain in the region, only 30 minutes east of Coeur d'Alene, right off I-90. Family, friends, and smiles as big as the wide-open vistas. Relax in a beautiful condo just a stroll away from dining, water slides, indoor surfing, and 84 degrees. And a gondola ride away from our new covered carpet lift, tubing, and acres of snow rider heaven. Your winter adventure awaits at Silver Mountain. Book today at silvermt.com.
The all-new high-tech Chevy Trax. Whatever your plans are this season, do more in a new Chevy. Get 2.1% financing on all 2024 Blazer models, or use your Red Tag bonus cash to get $1,500 total cash allowance. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Was this woman shamed to death?
This is ridiculous. What am I being arrested for?
Next Inside Edition. She was arrested on the beach for inappropriate behavior. The video was seen around the world. Was she so embarrassed she just couldn't take it anymore?
Please, don't do this to me.
Then the Marvel actor trial. Can his career be saved? Watch the Next Inside Edition.
Watch 4 News now at 6 and Inside Edition at 7.
All right, welcome back. Chris, on the one hand, we all kind of want a little snow down here so we can have a white Christmas. But on the other hand, it's kind of nice being able to drive around, easily here at mid to late December.
It is. And do you have any snow on your yard still, or you?
There's like a tiny pile, that you shoveled.
That you shovel, yes.
That the dogs haven't eaten yet.
or decorated in their own special way. Subject of tonight's forecast focus, we are talking about snow. And this is a satellite-derived product showing where the snow cover is. And seems like it's overestimating a little bit around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. The very light blue that you see on your screen is an inch or less, but some snow cover. And then in the 2-inch plus range in the darker blue. Finally, by the time we're into this yellow and pink, we're up to around a foot of snow. Regardless, if you do have some snow around your house, it probably is not going to survive the next week. Temperatures for highs will be above average, and we're going to slowly be melting, particularly next week, and then we're going to add some rain on top of that. That should take a lot of that snow down to the grass. The extended forecast then, this is looking out December 23rd through December 29th, is calling for above average temperatures for the inland Northwest, and we're fairly deep into those orange colors, so there is a strong signal, this forecast from the Climate Prediction Center, that we are going to keep that temperature trend above average. Add to that a more muddled signature in terms of our precipitation. We have a sliver of below average precipitation over part of the inland Northwest. Most of the area is in the gray, and then on the west side we have above average precipitation, so less of a conclusion there, which brings me to my next topic. There's that saying, is there a Lloyd's Christmas chance? Well, there is like a teeny tiny chance for a little bit of snow on Christmas. As you take a look at the extended forecast, it's dry every day up until the 25th. And then we do have a 9% chance of a 1/10 of an inch of snow or less. A 3% chance of an inch of snow, and then a 0% chance of 2 inches of snow or above. So at least there is a glimmer of hope that you might get a dusting of snow on Christmas. The forecast high right now for Christmas Day is 38 degrees. But boy, if the timing was right, you could wake up on Christmas Day with just a little fresh snow. We'll keep you updated on that. In the meantime, we have high pressure in control over our region. It is keeping the storms away, keeping the storms off out into the Pacific for the time being. This takes us up Sunday at 8 o'clock. Then we're going to see the storm track shift inward, and we're going to bring in the chance of some rain Monday into Tuesday, possibly Wednesday. It looks like all valley rain with fairly high mountain snow, ski resort area snow, but not pass level snow. The driving should be good through next week. A lot of holiday travel to be done. And for the errands you're running this weekend, the only problem is the fog and the potential for some areas of freezing fog. Always keep an eye out for those sparkly streets as you're rounding the corners and putting on the brakes. Monday, they have a slight chance of showers, but that actually arrives late in the day and into Tuesday, and it is rain. More showers possible on Wednesday, and this a 20% chance of precipitation Thursday and Friday. Thursday, winter officially arrives sometime after the dinner hour in the 7 o'clock hour. And that little glimmer of winter weather on Christmas Day. We'll see how that pans out, Derek.
All right, Grace, thank you so much. Well, there are some really great local spots to hike in Spokane County. You know this, even during the winter months. In tonight's Air Force Adventure, we explore the natural beauty of Riverside State Park's Bowl and Pitcher.
Welcome to Bowl and Pitcher and the Riverside State Park. It is a geological formation that came about after the Ice Age floods that carved out a lot of this basalt in this river valley. In about 1910, when we started getting settlers here, they saw it and they thought it looked like a bowl and pitcher, like an old school ewer and bowl. Eddy of water that swirls, and you can see it now because the water's kind of rising with the rain we've had recently, and that's what they thought it looked like, and the name stuck. It's a gorgeous part of the park. It's one of the most popular. Swinging Bridge is a big draw all year round. It was built in 1942, and it's been a big attraction. It goes over the most gorgeous part of this canyon in our park. Campground, it's open year round. Some people like to tough it out.
Winter camping. I think we need to spend more time out in nature, so this is my way of getting out. One of those state parks that doesn't tend to snow that much. There's a little bit of snow, so other than that, it's close to family.
The Bowl and Pitcher has day use areas. There's picnic tables. There's also hiking. If you cross over the Swinging Bridge, you connect up here to the Centennial Trail. And then all the other hiking trails, we have miles and miles of hiking trails. If we get snow, some people like to snowshoe. If we get enough snow on the Centennial, we don't plow it, so some people like to cross-country ski too. Most cities don't have such a big state park right on their doorstep, and we're 5 minutes from downtown Spokane.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
It's time to say yes to your healthcare story. The Washington Health Plan Finder helps you find new health plan options like Cascade Care. These plans cover primary care visits, mental health services, and generic drugs all before meeting a deductible. Start your next chapter off right by enrolling in your 2023 health plan at wahealthplanfinder.org. Don't wait until it's too late. Enroll now.
What is a jewelry design center? Locally owned and the largest jewelry store in the region, offering you more choices, more options. A showroom filled with world-famous brands and designers. A center who also creates exclusive designs and one-of-a-kind pieces. Whose specialized selection process ensures the brightest diamonds and most vivid gems. We are not your average jewelry store. We are Jewelry Design Center, and we want to be your jeweler for life.
Spokane Exercise Equipment is the Inland Northwest premier provider of top-of-the-line exercise and rehabilitation equipment. Once the Spokane Exercise Equipment technicians have finished setting up your new home gym, that's when the workout competition begins. Spokane Exercise Equipment has all you need to achieve your fitness goals. They offer delivery, installation, service, and maintenance for all residential and commercial customers. Visit them in downtown Spokane or go online to see their full line of products.
My dry eyes made me a burning, stinging 5 times a day.
Makeup smearing, drops user.
I want another option. That's not another drop.
Tyrvaya. It's not another drop. It's the first and only nasal spray for dry eye. Tyrvaya treats the signs and symptoms of dry eye disease fast by helping your body produce its own real tears. Common side effects include sneezing, cough, and throat and nose irritation.
Relying only on drops? Not me. My own real tears are my relief.
Ask your eye doctor about Tyrvaya.
Have you heard about the TYM 2515 tractor? It's a full-feature compact tractor that's made for landscapers, hobby farmers, and landowners. And through the end of 2023, get 0% interest and 84 months with the largest lift capacity in its class. Get the best incentives of the year right now by visiting TYMOffers.com. Better yet, visit Cascade Tractor Supply in Spokane. TYM.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
Welcome back. A family in Kentucky got a Christmas surprise when they brought home their live tree. Hiding inside the tree was this small owl. No one even noticed the bird until 4 days after the tree was decorated. A carpet cleaner noticed it after the tree was swaying when he plugged in his equipment. It was released into the backyard. Wild. All right, here's a look at ABC's primetime lineup tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Tony, your parents know you're over here again, right?
Yep.
Great.
Tony lives next door. See, his parents decided to just use their phone for home internet. So when everyone is on, Tony's over here streaming and drinking all my soda. My dog.
Get internet on the Xfinity 10G network for $19.99 a month for 12 months with a 1-year contract.
We're going to bed, Tony.
Good night. I'll lock up if I leave.
Get real home internet on the next generation 10G network only from Xfinity.
Do more together. Whatever your plans are this season, do more in a new Chevy. Or qualified lessees can get this Equinox for around $239 a month.
See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Wishing you a happy and joyful holiday season from BECU.
$3 pitcher night. A couple cocktails, an edible, and a nature documentary. What do all these people have in common? A friend like you, who offered a ride, or made sure they got in a ride share, or provided a couch to crash on. Thanks for keeping the roads a little safer tonight, Washington. Together, we get there.
Police say the 16-year-old shot both of his parents.
Now, inside the courtroom and the shocking new evidence.
You gotta be kidding me. Whose blood is this?
All-American Murder, 2020, tonight on ABC.
The Spokanites of Spokane are nestling into holiday glee. With gifts on their minds, what Santa might bring me. What can I get Grandma that isn't ugly dishes? For my uncle, a Traeger, he loves to smoke fishes. My kids now have it all, I just don't understand. Good thing the general store is a toy wonderland. A gift for everyone in one stop, I swear. Carhartt jackets, Yeti coolers, even thermal underwear.
No matter the person, how big or how small, there's a gift here for everyone. So come one and come all.
4 News Now is brought to you by End the Violence.
Pretty quiet weather for the weekend. Low clouds and fog, high temperatures in the mid-30s.
Yeah, all right. Still smooth sailing, though, right? If you're out and about trying to do anything.
Yes, and again, like you said, I kind of would like a little more fun in the weather department, but in terms of buzzing around, parking the car, not navigating the giant snow piles, it's pretty nice.
And Alex, big one for the Zags tonight.
Yeah, UConn's going to present all kinds of challenges, but we'll have the highlights coming up at 11.
All right, we'll see you then.